you need to be open for feedback, but don't jump in every new thing.
On this week's episode of the podcast, we have Endy from Breda in the Netherlands. He is the owner of Flexercise Treatments. They offer physical therapy and fitness solutions. We talk about mindset towards selling fitness.
I really believe in the power of cooperation. You can grow alone, but you can grow faster with others.
Why you need to trust your team to look after your business.
And I'm so grateful that they make it happen. We believe in our services. That's the way we can divide ourselves in the competition. Everything you can outsource, especially the admin, start from the get-go actually.
Why too many business owners are close to burnout and how to avoid it.
My clients were my life in that case. I just felt like I can't keep on doing this. I would recommend literally everyone.
Let's jump into the episode.
This episode is brought to you by Stride DNA, the DNA testing service that helps coaches, PTs, and gym owners take their client programming to the next level. Ever wondered why some clients thrive on certain workouts while others burn out? It all comes down to genetics. Stride DNA gives you science-backed insights into how your clients respond to training, recover, and process nutrients, so you can tailor workouts, refine diets, and optimize recovery for faster results. It's not just game-changing for clients, it's an easy additional revenue stream for your business. Offer DNA-driven coaching as part of a premium package or earn commission on test kits. It's quick, simple, and Stride gives you all the tools and education you need. The best part, it's quick and easy. Your clients take a swab, send it off, and in days, you'll be able to implement the change they need to thrive in their fitness journey. So if you want to future-proof your coaching, get real results, and boost your revenue, visit getstride.com today.
Endy, welcome to the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast, all the way from Breda in the Netherlands. Did I pronounce that right?
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Awesome to have you here. So let's just give everyone an overview of your current business right now. So can you just give some insight into it?
For sure. So first of all, thanks for the invitation and the hospitality. So my name is Endy. I'm living in Breda. My company is also there. I have a paramedical center with physical therapy, PT, and SGPT. And what we mainly focus on is to provide better healthcare in the prevention of our clients. And we are now active for a period of almost a decade. Yes, it's been a very long period now. And with working with FMA, it's been a very fantastic journey so far.
Awesome. How many clients roughly are you at?
At the moment, we're around 310 clients in total. And
can you just break down the price points of what they're paying for each service?
Yeah, so it starts from a price of 65 euros, so it's going to be around 62 pounds, and the highest price is maybe like 800 euros, comparing to what kind of service and facility you want.
So that can be for physio, it can be for SGPT.
And PT, yeah, and depending how often you go for the PT, we have a higher price.
And we'll get into your backstory of how you built the business in a second. But I was in your gym maybe 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's in a very unique situation. I've never seen anything like this before in all of the gyms that we work with. So can you just explain the situation of the fitness industry in Breda?
Yeah, funny thing that you bring in, but it's true. There's a lot of competition in Breda, especially gym owners, physical therapists, trainers, PT, whatsoever. Just in the 1 mile where my gym is located, there's around 24, 25 gyms similar to what we are doing. The biggest, I would say, value that we have is that all our trainers have a physical therapy or a paramedical background. So that's the way we can define ourselves with the competition. But yes, it's crazy though. I'm not gonna lie about that.
When I drove into the area where your gym's located, I got lost, and I literally just looked up, and like every other building was offering some type of high rocks, CrossFit. It could be down to dance, fitness. There was some element of PT. It was crazy. I literally never seen anything like this. And then off camera, you were telling me the actual city has close to 150 options.
Yeah, it's immense, to be honest. But you know what it is? The area where I'm located, from the government, you just get easily certification to start a gym. And because of that, people are just growing and opening gyms instantly without any kind of background, because you can be a PT every day. Like, it's not like a sort of job that is more protective compared to like physical therapy or whatsoever. So for us, it's pretty difficult to gain new leads because of the fact that the competition is that huge. But what I already told you, we stick in our power. We believe in our services, and that's the way we can divide ourselves with the competition.
And you've been successfully running the company for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So many FMA clients and other people watching this podcast, they have competitors in their town. They might just have 1, 2, or 3, and they might have 10. How are you staying ahead of your competitors, and what's your mindset towards your competitors?
You know what it is? I really believe in what we do, and I need to give props to my colleagues, because without them I would be nowhere. And I have a certain ingredient that is unique, even though I'm selling that myself. But because of the way I approach and try to coach my trainers and physical therapists, that's the way we can also scale the business and put it through our clients. And I think that's the best way to find something unique and stick in it. And that's what we do basically.
Do you find some of your customers have gone to those competitors and had a bad experience, and then they find you, or are some of them finding you as like the recommended referral because of what you do is so good?
Yeah, sometimes, because we have partners like home doctors, hospitals that we're working with, so they recommend our services as well. So we try to work with some local companies. But yes, we also have some clients that had bad experience with their earlier PT, and because of that, they have like a feeling that all the PTs are the same, and then we need to try to educate them a bit and to show them that it can be different. But they're gonna have some trust issues in the beginning. But when you just stack out and show them that it's a real actual difference, then at the end, people are gonna be happy and gonna stay with you.
Do you feel your USP, your unique selling
point?
Selling point is the physical therapy?
I would say yes, and also the personal attachment. Like, we don't count numbers, we count quality. We always say quality above quantity, and that's the main focus for where we are located on. If you compare that with some CrossFit gyms or Hyrox or whatsoever, very nice, cool, but it's like very big actually, and we are always trying to manage the quantity of people in our gym in the same hour, so everybody can have a feeling that they are home, and that's something we want to share with our clients, and I think that's something people really see like a USP as well.
How many people are coming to you, first of all, because of injury or illness versus coming to you for, say, fitness, fat loss?
So let's say we have services that are all regulated through the insurance, so physical therapy, podotherapy, and that kind of services. I would say 35% is from the insurance, and 65% is without insurance. So that can be PT, LGBT, and LGBT.
Great, and they can also pay privately for physical therapy as well?
Yes, I would say there's not a big group that is doing that, because the fact we have a contract with all the insurances, so it doesn't make sense to pay for it. But in some cases, people want to have the special service and want to get, let me say, faster result, then they can always decide to pay by themselves.
You've got a great entrepreneurial journey, and I want to delve into what you're doing at the moment and how you've worked your way out of the business and everything like that. But I want to go way back to when you first got into the industry. Can you just talk through your route, your qualifications, your first stepping stones, and then how you went to get the premises that you have now?
Yes, for sure. That's a wonderful question. I was 19 when I worked in the fitness industry. At that time was a big local gym in my city town, still in Breda. And had a way, I had a philosophy how I can help people better, but I was 19, so people didn't take me that serious, what I can understand. At that moment, I was competing professional kickboxing, so I was a little bit impatient. I was like, I need to dive in this idea. So I did a presentation at the company, and the owner were listening to me, and I was like, that sounds good, Andy. Let's try to implement it. 6 months later, at the end, I was like, they are doing nothing. So in that case, or I just accept it, or I do it myself. So I chose for the second one, and then I started very low key at one client at his or her home with PT and some coaching, just like interactive coaching and having some conversations. And then it just grew from a hobby, I would say, to something big. And in the beginning it was less competition, so yeah, you can just start from the get-go. And when I started doing it really serious, I was already age of 22 at the last year of my bachelor, and then I started to implementing my knowledge as a physical therapist in the business. And I started hiring my first colleague when I was 23, and then it went very rapidly.
What would you say to the clinic owner that's listening to this? Why should they consider adding in a fitness component? And then what would you say to the gym owner who's listening to this? Why should they add in a physical therapy component potentially to their service offering?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I think if you can cooperate with other people, you can grow and you can have a different way of how to expand your services. So I really believe in the power of cooperation. You can grow alone, but you can grow faster with others. Why I think a physical therapy can be a good thing to add is like if you have people with injuries or prevention, you can have like a way to interact with each other. You get more traffic to your gym. So if you work with a physical therapist and people are like, I need to go for a physio, but they see that also PT, people are gonna get instantly interest, like, oh, something that is done that I didn't knew about or whatsoever. So you can help each other, and it's also not a direct competition because you're not doing the same services. So it worked out for me, and I really think that the future needs to be more in a cooperation way. That's the only way you can grow, I would say.
Yeah, we see it a lot in the UK market where someone will have an injury, they will then go pay privately to see a specialist. It could be a physio, osteopath, a chiropractor, and then they see that practitioner and they are given some exercises to assist, and then the patient never does it. And then there's this frustration loop with the patient, with the clinic or practitioner, and like having that synergy of like, hey, this is now what you need to do, one-on-one personal training, and then maybe progress into a small group.
Exactly, because patients are not compliant at all. So that's a big problem in the physical therapy world, I would say. So yes, if you have like a PT or a coach that can assist you and can keep you compliant, that will be a better way, and you can have higher results for sure.
Let's talk about you in terms of your role in the business. Can you just tell me day in, day out, what would a typical day look like for you?
Yes, so for now I'm working more on the business than in the business. So I'm doing all the organization tasks, finding new cooperation, calling leads, doing the sales, but also creating strategies. And if I have a good idea, I just put it in a group. I have two managers in the gym in the two locations that we have in Breda, and they assist me to help the other colleagues as well. Beside of that, I also have a SaaS product application where I'm working on as well in the healthcare, especially in the orthopedic doctors and physical therapy. So I'm trying to combine my PT studio, I would say, with also my SaaS product. So my day is most likely just on my laptop and having meetings with people. Yeah.
And the SaaS product is specific for physio?
Yeah, so the SaaS product is specifically for physical therapy and orthopedic specialists. So it's like a digital product, e-health, that creates a higher patient compliance. And it's something you just mentioned. And the applications now extend, especially in Spain, Australia, and Dubai. And that's something we're working on for the last 2 years.
We have a lot of FMA clients, and again, people listening to this podcast, that they grow their gym, their business to a certain level. It far exceeds their expectations of what was possible, but then they get stuck. And typically they get stuck because they're still operational in the delivery of that service. So what would your advice be for that gym owner, that business owner who's stuck at that level, but they're still trying to run the business, do everything to grow the business, but then they're still potentially delivering the service product?
So I would say if you are willing to change your way of work and you want to grow your business, you need to create the idea, hold on it, and just start implementing it. How difficult it is, because to be honest, I took 2 years to decide to not work anymore operational, but work on organization. In the beginning, it was very hard to do it. I'm not going to lie about that though. But at the end, when I decided to do it, the first 2-3 months are going to be a little bit of adapting. You need to adapt on a new change. But after that, you're going to see immensely growth, because if you work in the field, you can't see with the overview what's going on. So I would say don't be delusional and just make the change and replace things that can be replaced and focus on the things that are the most important for the gym.
So if we go 2 years back, were you treating clients for injuries and then training some clients on the gym floor for rehab? Or
yes, exactly.
What did your day look back then?
So 2 years ago, I was just working every minute, every second. So I was giving training, PT, SCPT. At that moment, it wasn't much SCPT, it was most likely PT. Seeing patients, doing the marketing, trying to do sales, meals, and literally everything, because I didn't have any customer service at that moment. So I was also replying to all the emails. Yeah, I would say typical burnout PT, just trying to work every second.
What was the key point where you're like, that's it, I'm done, I can't do this anymore?
Because things that I enjoyed basically in life, I didn't like anymore. So I was like, Andy, what are you doing? And I was like, okay, if I'm going to force myself to still doing something I really can't or really don't want, I'm going to come in a certain point that my body's going to decide to stop. So I was like, no, man, I really need to do a step back and change exponentially.
You mean like maybe you weren't working out as much yourself, or you couldn't do hobbies, see friends, family?
Everything. Hobbies for sure, but also working out. I gained some weight as well, and just like mentally, you just don't like going out. For example, normally sometimes you just want to see your friends and just enjoy and talk about different topics beside of work. But my brain was so active and constantly focusing on work and how to improve and busy with my clients. My clients were my life in that case, and in a certain point, I just felt like I can't keep on doing this. And then I decided to step off from, like, instead of 100% operational to maybe like 30%. And later on, I was like, Andy, you can better just stop or do it full time, but something in between doesn't work. So then I decided, okay, I'm done. And then, of course, I mentioned it and give everybody, all my clients, especially the person that I knew from day one, and I explained them the situation, and everyone understood it. So that's something I also appreciate from my clients.
What was the old story that you was telling yourself back then?
I was like, nobody can do it like me. I need to do it. People need me, and as I said, just a little bit delusional that I really thought that if I'm not in the business cannot run. I think a little bit of exhaust as well, and maybe anxious to make the decision, but at the end, the best decision ever.
And what's the consequence? What's happened since you've completely stopped delivering service, treatments to patients, clients?
So the relationship that I had with my clients, like one-on-one clients, at the end, you start like clients, and after that you just become friends. And the friendship that I had with my clients is something I really missed until today, because some of them I spoke literally every day, and you build a special relationship, and that is the beauty of this business, isn't it? And that was something that I really saw change really fast. Like, people were more focusing on my colleagues, and me, I was more a second opinion in that case, and I was like, that's something I would like to have back. But at the end, I still happy that I made the choice to keep on doing the both side, like working and also doing the organization. And beside of that, I would say also financially, and also a little gap, because normally when you work like one-on-one, you also have your income that is stable without any commission for your colleagues or whatsoever. So of course, I had periods that I even had more income than what I have right now, but now I have more peace and I enjoy life in general way more. And beside of that, as a person, I'm more polite and friendly than when I was working like 100 hours per week. So I would say if I balance both positive and negative things, I'm still happy that I made the choice to just step back.
So just to rewind on what you said, so back when you was working those crazy hours, you were taking home more money personally. Is that because you were treating and seeing some clients one-on-one.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, where now the business pays your salary,
Yes.
but the business has grown.
Yes, the business is growing, but of course the cost is also growing because I have more clients of colleagues that I need to hire, more responsibilities in basic, like, and not everything that I do as a business owner, especially in organization, directly bring income. But when you do PT, for example, or have a treatment, it's just this is what you do an effort and this is what you get back instant. And organization things are not in the get-go visible because it needs to take time. But when it take off, then you can see it maybe back in the later stage.
So pros and cons.
Exactly.
But one thing you said was that you now have more peace.
Yes, and that's extremely valuable asset, I would say.
Because you're rested?
Yeah, and I have a better overview because otherwise I was like constantly busy in my head. There was a voice in my head that was like, you need to do that, you need to do this. And I was having a relationship with my mobile phone.
Just consistently on it to clients, trying to manage all the business and everything like that.
Yeah.
One thing you did over Christmas and at the start of the new year, a lot of business owners will have aspirations to do. Can you just explain what you did?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So I made the choice to travel. So from 25th of December till around 10th of January, I've been in the UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and I've been a few days in Bali as well. Bali was more like a vacation and Dubai was for work. And that's also peace and space that you get when you work more on the business and inside the business. And I'm also grateful for my colleagues that makes it possible because I need to give them the trust and the responsibility that they can keep it running. And all good so far. So, yeah.
So recently you did something that a lot of business owners have aspirations to do, but they can't because they're sort of chained to their business. Can you just explain what you did?
Yes, I decided to travel to the Emirati, so Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and some days in Bali as well, from 25th of December till the 10th of February.
So in the sun, relaxing.
Yes, you can see it, my skin tints.
In the sun, relaxing,
yeah.
Time off, but you were also working remotely.
Yes, so the period in Bali was more like a holiday, and the period in the Emirati was basically just work, yeah.
How long were you away from the business for?
For 2 months, yeah.
And what did you do when you was working remotely?
So first of all, you need to give trust and responsibilities to your colleagues, and I'm so grateful that they make it happen. Without them, I wouldn't be in the position to do this kind of things. I was mostly focusing on Rehab Lab, on the application, because we have some partners in Dubai that
Which
are
is
using
the SaaS product.
The SaaS product, yes. Yeah. We have some partners, some hospitals that are using our product. So I had some visitation at the exhibition where I had some presentation with potential clients. And yeah, just busy with acquisition. So that was a wonderful period, but also a period that I was depending on my own. So you just improve yourself, some personal developments, I would say. And Bali was just with friends. Was just most likely fun. Yeah.
2 years ago, that wouldn't have been an option, right?
Not even an option, not even a thought.
To take a vacation holiday?
No. Actually, I was just most likely busy with work. And even if I went to Spain, for example, I was still on my phone and trying to manage. It was insane.
Can you give a message directly to the business owner, gym owner, who's listening to this, who has aspirations to do what you did, do 60 days in a different country? Like, what steps do they need to put in place to be able to do that successfully?
I would say stick on your feelings. If you really have the need to change the way you work, decide it before your body decides for you. Of course, you're going to be difficult because you're going to change your whole way of working, and we as a human being don't like changes in general, but really do it. Like, there's no perfect moment to do it. If you have, for example, 5-6 years of track records, you can decide. But maybe for the first few years, I would say 2, 3, maybe 4, working like crazy hours, it's okay, acceptable, but at the end, you can't do that for your whole life. We are still human beings, so you need to think about yourself and practice what you preach. So if you want to coach others for a better health, start by yourself.
What cadence did you have with your team back in Breda? in terms of like meetings, check-ins? Were you getting updated regularly? How did that work?
So I have a manager that I speak very often to. And the good thing, when I have a interaction with him, he could just tell me an update what's going on. And by speaking with him, I just have a good overview about the situation. And besides that, we have a wonderful woman that is doing our customer care. And from the moment she came in our life, really way more peace. Things that I don't have time for or whatsoever, she can just I can outsource it to her. So I think the combination for having a good manager and also somebody that can do the customer care is a real must for business owners, I would say.
Let's go into that team. So how many in the team total?
So now we're a total of 9, 5 full-time and 4 part-time.
And just talk me through their job roles, what they're doing.
So yes, we have 5 physical therapists, paramedical specialists. We have 1 dietist, 1 only PT, and 1 movement scientist.
So they're seeing the clients for rehab and then coaching sessions on the gym, on the gym floor.
Yeah.
And then you have this lady who's, you say customer service.
Mm-hmm.
To tell me more about her role.
Yeah, so she's from Belgium, and nowadays people work most likely remote. So she just do all the email, all the customer calls, potential partners. For example, everything that I'm not willing to do or too busy for, she can just outsource it, and I can outsource it to her, and she can assist me. And beside of that, she also have the interaction in the group chat. So we have a WhatsApp group where we have do questions, or for example, if colleagues request for a vacation or period of off, she also just sort it out. And that's a lot of peace, to be honest, by changing all the plans and SGPT, PTs. Yes, it can be very hard in the beginning.
Where previously you were doing all of the admin
as
behind
well.
the scenes.
I was doing the admin as well. Yeah.
This lady, what's her actual job title?
Yes, she's a specialist in customer care.
Specialist in customer care, perfect. But maybe also a personal assistant, a virtual assistant.
Yeah, I would say virtual assistant. Yeah. VA.
Where did you? Because she's in Belgium. How close are you to the Belgian border? You're two hours.
Breda's like 40 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you find her?
Through a friend of mine, I posted a message on LinkedIn, and he just approached me like, "Oh, I know somebody that probably can help you." So we came in touch, and we had an interview, and yeah.
And how often does she come to the facility?
In the beginning, she visited 1 or twice, but basically she just worked remote. Yeah.
Would you say that she's like an A player? Like she gets it. She's like self-motivated. She knows exactly what to do.
I would say A plus, really.
Yep, excellent. So the question that people probably want to know is how can they get an A plus person to help them behind the scenes with the tasks that bog them down, that aren't they're very important for the business, but they're not like proactively going to generate money for the business. So because the way I see it at the moment is all of your activity that you're doing right now is to build the business or build the SaaS company. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the team on the fulfillment or the physical therapy and the PT, SGPT. And then you've got this lady who's behind the scenes as operations, admin assistant,
exactly.
Customer service. The question is, how can more gym owners find A+ people that just hit the road running, don't give it any drama, no stress, they do the work and they go above and beyond?
I would say be honest to yourself. So where are you good at and what are the things you really need to do and you can't outsource, keep in it. But everything you can outsource, especially the admin, start from the get-go actually. It's going to make your life more easier. Searching for A+, I would say, it's almost it's not really possible. I would say just find somebody that is good, somebody you can trust, and be transparent. And somebody that's maybe a B, after working for a period of 2 months, is going to be A+ for sure. If both energies match with each other and you speak the same language, and I don't mean like English, but like real the same language and understand each other properly, you're going to have a great relationship. And from there, I believe that you can grow as a person. And if you can grow as a person, your business will grow with you.
Is she helping you with finances behind the scenes?
Yes, like we have 2 ways of income. So things from the insurance and services without insurance. For example, the PT, SGPT. that part I do the control, but she's the one that is, for example, sending the invoices if that's needed. But like 90% of our income out of the insurance are with automatic debit, so we don't really need to watch out. And everything from the insurance part, from physical therapy or the paramedical services, she's doing the whole declarations. It's phenomenal.
You said you had 2 managers on the 2 sites.
Yes.
Are they also physical therapists, or are they PTs, or?
One is physical therapist and one is like a dietist PT.
And they're operational still, and they manage as well?
Yeah, exactly.
And then break down the other people. You said a movement specialist. Like, what does that mean? What do they do?
Yeah, so he often works with football clubs. So in the Netherlands, you have PSV, so from Eindhoven.
I'm laughing because they lost 7-1.
Yes, no, from Arsenal.
Yeah.
You guys, yeah. It was a nice match. I'm not a really PSV fan, so for me it's okay. But yes, a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, is doing the last year of a movement scientist at the university, and he works a lot with top sport companies. And with his background and his education, he's really good with analyzing movement and what's the better movement you need from elderly people, but also people that are young. So with his background and his knowledge, he helped us to make some movement plans for our clients.
When I was in your gym, it was mid-morning lunchtime, and the demographic was, I would say, 60, 65 plus.
Yeah, true.
They all had big smiles on their faces. They all there was a good community.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the session that was being delivered, and it looked like rehab more so than just like fitness. So can you just break down like what is the main demographic of people coming to the facility, and then what are you doing on the community side to create that?
I would say between 35 and 65 elderly. And what I do for the community is like I try, so beside of we are doing email marketing on weekly basis, we also try to do
to customers.
To customers,
to
yes.
like keep them updated.
Exactly, and interaction and giveaways, etc. And beside of that, we also do like once in a month. We try to organize like our own meet and greet, so people can come to each other and interact. And we have like every year a big event. So we have a lot of clients that are doing golf. And in the beginning, I didn't know how to hit a ball. Still, it can be frustrating. But beside of that, once in a year, we just come with a big group between 15 and 20 people, and we just golf and interact, eat some unhealthy food, and just drink some wine, and just really invest in the relationships.
What roughly like lifetime value are these clients sticking with you for a long time?
Yes, like I have clients from the get-go. That means they're already clients from a period of 9 years or plus. And that is something that is very valuable. And I think that that's also our power, that we can really invest in relationship. And now that I'm less operational, I see that keeping on the relationship is difficult, more difficult than in the beginning.
Because new customers don't know who you are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
how do you feel about that?
In the beginning, it was a little bit hard because I'm used to, being attached and knowing literally everybody, even knowing your day of birth, of your children, even your dog. I was very into my clients, but at the end, I'm trying to focusing on a bigger part, and basically we want to create more value for a larger group. And I think then you don't need to do micromanagement. You just try to overview everything, and nowadays I'm very content about the situation. Yeah.
Talk me through your sales process for each element, fitness and then rehab.
So for rehab, it's more organically. For example, you have a new hip, you need to have a rehabilitation for a few months. So we get referrals from the hospitals or email or from the website. And for the fitness, of course, from the moment we start working with you guys, the quantity of leads grow exponentially. And we just call our clients and have a good interview, look what their needs are and at which situation they are at that moment, and especially where they want to go. And then we just find a good way to assist them with one of our services. You've
talked about it already, but I'd love for you just to recap on the pricing. So what is the front end offer for fitness and price point, and then same for rehab? I guess that's a little bit more custom.
Yeah, so for rehab, it's basically decided from the insurance. So that's between, I would say, 34 and 39 euros per hour, per 30 minutes. And according the fitness, for SGPT, we are in a price class between 250 and 319 per month.
Going back to the rehab, so the insurance company determine the rate.
Yeah,
You then invoice the insurance company and get paid off of that.
it's regulated. So basically, if you come for a ACL and when you have a rehabilitation of 9 or 12 months, we just do the declaration by the insurance. And basically, if you have good insurance as a customer or patient in that case, you don't see anything. It's just going directly from insurance. For the patients that have less insurance, sometimes you need to send it to the patient, and they're gonna do the declaration from their end. But most of them are instant with the insurance.
How many of those patients have no idea about SGPT fitness, that they're deconditioned, and then they see what's going on in the gym and they become customers of the fitness side?
I would say percentage of 20% that are like, oh, I don't knew what you are doing, but I have some interest, and then you just have an upselling by selling one SGPT or a PT session.
In line with their rehab?
Yeah.
Yep.
So most of them, we always start like with one-on-one coaching, especially when you are like 60 plus. LGBT can be rough when you have less experience. So you start with the motor learning in the beginning. We need to build some confidence, and from there we can put them in a little bigger group. Yeah.
And then let's go back to the fitness side. So you're selling SGPT for over 200 euros.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just give us some tips in terms of, sort of how you position it, how you sell it, any objections that you have?
I would say 3 things. So if you want to sell a high-ticket service, the quality needs to be extremely high, especially now in Breda, the competition. So that means you cannot accept a high price if you have a group with 5 or 6 people. Make the group small, and you need to give them a little bit more than only the guidance. So we have a really personal approach. Even though we are with 4 people, we remember what you need. For example, if you say you need to do a squat, but I know you have a knee injury, we just change the exercise for you specifically, so all the other people can still grow on their own end without you having a less of support, for example. Yeah.
And then you said 3 things.
3 things, yeah. So, and the second 2, I would say, the thing is, what we do when we see a new client, we always have a personal approach that we have one-on-one coaching for the first 2-3 times, and from there we put them in a group that is a little bit larger. And also, what's very important is when you have an interaction with your clients, that you know what they need for the long period. So doing like a standard program doesn't work for my experience. It's very important that you know what they want and how to maintain that as well when they train by themselves in other gym or at home. So like the total price of the total service needs to match with each other, and from that way you can have a higher upselling price.
Are you the most expensive?
No, I think we have a general price. There are gyms that are more expensive than our services, but also not cheap at all. But
let me ask that one again. Let's talk about the product, the service on the gym floor. Can you give people listening to this some expertise in terms of what you believe is right for the client coming through the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's very important that when you want to have a high ticket sale or you want to create a certain value, you need to give value. And our price is between 250 and 290 for SGPT. We charge the amount because we really believe in the one-on-one approach. So, for example, when you start at our gym, the first 2-3 times you're gonna get the one-on-one coaching and let me say a test to know where you start, your starting point, so you can look how to make your goals realistic. Beside of that, we also focus on the nutrition, the sleep quality, the physical training, like personal training, and also the community. So people are going to be with a similar people in the way of the biography. And I think that's a very important way to really build trust for the long run. And beside of that, once in every 2 weeks, we have a personal call that we have like a check-up, how it works, how are things going, and we always follow up every 2 weeks with all our clients, regardless.
On WhatsApp or phone call? Or?
Phone call,
Yeah.
Always phone call, every 2 weeks, check-up calls.
Yep. And who's doing that, the coach?
Yeah, we have 2 coaches that are responsible for that, and I always have like once in a month a checkup with statistics, how were the calls, and they write some notes so I can read it from my end as well.
So just to confirm, everyone who comes through your door, regardless of their fitness level or if they've got an injury or not, they all have one-on-one initially.
Yes.
To assess them, see their movement pattern.
Exactly.
And then you decide if it's large group, SGPT, if it's one-on-one, if it's rehab.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. In terms of selling it on the phone, what is your sales process?
So we have a call script, and we just do the onboarding by starting the calls with knowing somebody better. Just look at who is a person and where he or she wants to go, and from there we try to create a funnel, so a questionnaire that is very specific for their needs. And if you have specific questions, it's going to be easier for you to just sell a product that is that match their needs, and that's basically how we do it.
Do you take payment on the phone? Because I know in the Netherlands it's slightly different. Or would you book them an appointment and then you...
So most of them we do, like, let me say 70% we have a payment on the phone. In the beginning it was pretty hard because in the Netherlands it's not that often common. Because like a lot of companies call and can be like a spam, and people have trust issues, what I can understand. But I think by having just a good conversation, not too much for like sales on the front, sales needs to be something secondary because you are more focusing on building relationships. And then, I find out that it's easier. We have sometimes people that are not very technical, that are facing issues by doing a digital payment. In that case, you make an exception to just come by, and then we do the payment by our gym, for example.
After the assessment.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are some of the common objections that you come up against in terms of why I can't get started, why I can't afford it, and sort of how are you overcoming those?
So the biggest objection is the price and time. That are the 2 biggest objections from our clients of leads, I would say. According to the price, I always try to create scenarios like, okay, you think this is expensive? I try to explain what the value is, and that the healthcare is like something that always needs to be number one. And if somebody, for example, can buy go to holidays for maybe twice or 3 times a higher price, that means that the person has the funds, but don't see the value. So I try to make some scenarios so people can have a better understanding how they can manage their value. And beside of that, I also have a good conversation with clients for according their
like thoughts around the price.
Yeah, the time, for example. So clients that have like, I'm always too busy, so I don't have time to go to the training, or I'm busy with kids or whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, you're pretty busy right now, but if you would like to get more free time, you need to get more energy as well. So see it like an investment. It costs you time, but gives you a lot of time in the end. So I just try to look according to the person that I'm speaking with. You need to get a better understanding about their living and what they are, at which point they are then. And from there, it's going to be easier for you to find good arguments to convince somebody to still buy your product.
So the biggest objections that you face, time and money,
price,
and the way that you overcome that is you sort of paint scenarios of like, this is what could happen if you continue to do what you're doing, or if you can afford this, you can definitely afford what we offer, and so on.
Exactly.
What is your mentality to calling inquiries?
Pretty sales driven, I would say. And if somebody's busy, I'll be like, okay, when can I call you? Let's make a day and time. I'm not the person that just go and be like, okay, if you're not available now, I will call you later. I need to be specific. Okay, later, at which day, at which time, at this moment what suits you, and I try to pivot my own availability to make it more accessible for the lead.
A lot of gym owners, they will say, I'm not a salesperson. I didn't start my business to sell people. I don't have time to call inquiries. I just want people to turn up and walk in and become customers or pay online. I don't want to have to like force people to take part or commit or transform. So what would you say to that gym owner?
Wake up. 2025, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, like everybody have thoughts, and if you are good and you have the best product, but nobody knows you, that means that you don't exist. And if you want to be to the front and you really believe in your product as a gym owner, start selling and just tell people why they need to come to you. That's the only way nowadays, like with social media and everything around. You cannot be like, I just gonna wait inside and open my doors and people can come when they want. No, it doesn't work.
I like that, wake up. Because the dream scenario for every business is customers just flood in with like no friction, no issues. They just buy and as you know, that's not the case. So many people have hesitations, fears.
Of course.
Will I be overweight? Will I look stupid? I don't know what to wear. I'm scared. I'm skeptical. Is this going to waste my money? So our job as business owners is to just reassure people that they're making the right decision.
Yes, exactly. So it's funny, but I understand why people can think like that just have a lazy way of onboarding clients, but no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I like that lazy way of onboarding clients, because the truth is that their service product is probably very good, 5-star.
Yeah.
But their sales process potentially is like 1-star, where they're slow to call the inquiries, or maybe they don't call them at all. They just email them, they hide behind WhatsApp, and they don't call them up and offer that 5-star service from the get-go.
Yes,
even though the product service is 5-star, it needs to match.
Because of the gap, isn't it? Yeah.
What are your goals every single month in terms of front-end sales? Do you have one, like for the physical clinic, physical therapy? Can you control that? I guess not, or maybe you can. And then for the fitness, what's your goals? Like how many front-end sales do you aim to sort of make?
So for the fitness, I would say we want to grow around 20 new clients every month. I would say some months is easy to realize, and other months is a little bit more difficult. And for the, let me say, the rehab, the physical therapy, it just need to be maintained, and we grow like every month like 10% of our accomplish new patients, but also creating, because basically when you have a rehab patient, it can be a period of 6 weeks, can be a period of 6 months, depending on the injury. So according that, you need to look the short injury, the short pathology need to be round off very fast, and we need to find people that are attending us for a long period. So you don't need to be constantly gaining new leads, because basically you want to have a good quality of service, but on the other hand, you also don't want your patient to go away every single 2 weeks.
Yeah. In terms of marketing, what did you used to do before FMA?
So yes, before FMA, we worked with a lot of Dutch companies, and we didn't have that best experience, I would say. So from a certain point, I was like, I don't really believe in marketing anymore. I would say paid ads, because like a lot of companies in the Netherlands are doing all the same, and they believe you the best, they believe you gold and everything, but in the practice, we see different results, of sometimes we don't even see results. And because of my earlier bad experiences, I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So a friend of mine recommended FMA, and I was like, okay, we can give it a try, and I never looked back anymore.
Fantastic. What did you do to go back before FMA? You used a few different marketing agencies for paid ads. What else did you do for like other forms of marketing?
We did some Google optimization, so SEO, SEA. We did some cooperation with governments, so from your city, then people can refer you. We did some paper news. So for example, a little article about your gym and what you do, and the borough and everything. But at the end, it cost more effort, and the reasons were the reasons were very small. So after that, I just decided to just, do your service very good and just hope for people that refer others to you.
Was growth in the business stagnating or slow?
It was stagnating, yes, and even it was going down at a certain point. Also because of the growth of the competition. So then you really need to do something different, otherwise you're going to be one of them.
And then when you joined FMA and that first campaign went on, what was your feelings or thoughts?
I was shocked. I started with the momentum, and with FMA, you promise a certain amount of leads. And I was a little bit skeptical, I would say. Just the same feeling when you want to start with the PT as a client. As a gym owner, you also are a little bit skeptical when you have a new corporation. But just from the get-go, the leads came in, the quantity was super high, and the quality was also very good. And we grown in the first 3 months, I would say, around 100 new clients. It was, immense.
For fitness
Yeah.
only, yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing. You've been in business a decade.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made, and can you just tell everyone how to avoid them?
One biggest mistake is neglecting network. I never been to network events and never attend certain activities or invitation, because I was like, I need to be with my clients and doing PT and just neglect everything around. And now that I'm more working on the organization and attending events, etc., I see the value of what it creates. And you find, for example, a customer service that helps you. You find new leads, new clients, and people start to refer you because they like you as a person.
So these are business networking events in your city?
Yes, but of around my city.
Yeah, and you're going representing the business.
As well as your personality.
Yeah, and speaking to other business owners about your service, and then you're forming connections and joint ventures.
Yes.
But where previously you didn't do that.
No.
Yeah, I love that form of marketing. Obviously, it's a little bit slower. It's not like you just turn on a Facebook ad campaign and you get loads of inquiries, but it sets the roots in the local community.
Exactly.
People get to know you, they start to talk about you, and you get business from it ultimately.
Yes, exactly. And also another point was, the first 2 years that I started with the company, I didn't did any ads. I was one of the coaches that was like, okay, I open the doors, I just do my service, and people are going to come in. And we grow organically, but it was very, very slow. And at that moment, I didn't have colleagues, so I wasn't responsible for others' income. But I would say if you really want to build the business instead of just working as a PT, start instantly with a good marketing company that really knows what they are doing and how they can assist you to grow, potentially.
So like previously, you would say it would just be like maybe referrals, walk-ins, where people would see, and
exactly.
Yeah, maybe friends, family would purchase from you, but like the organic method of marketing, which is still needed, like you post on social media and so on, but it was just very slow.
Extremely slow. I think if you only do that like for lifetime, you're gonna grow like less, or even sometimes you can't grow anymore because with the internet, everything is going rapidly. So you need to be visible.
What would you say to like a business coach or a gym owner, a business coach advising a gym owner or a gym owner themselves who has the mentality of, but organic inquiries are the best because they're pre-sold, they know exactly what they want, they buy straight away, versus like leads or new customers from say digital marketing like meta ads, it's a little bit harder. What would you say to that business coach who advises, you should only do organic marketing, or the gym owner that has the mental thinking of like, I just want to do organic marketing?
I would say, ask yourself the question, you want to make impact, big impact? If that's the case, wake up. Because if you want to make immensely big impact with a large community and want to reach out to a lot of people, organically is not the way. It can supervise you, for sure, but only organic is never the way to make a big impact. And I think that we have all the same goal as the business owner, gym owner. You want to help people to improve their healthcare, and organically it's gonna be stick in a little area, and if you expand it with Facebook ads and Google ads, you're gonna see what kind of results you can book.
It's like turning the tap on a little bit
For
faster.
sure, yeah.
And
Accelerating.
Yeah, and of course you're going to get like an influx of people that might not be a good fit. They might not be able to afford it. Maybe they're a little bit too far away. Maybe they were just passing through the city and they don't live near you. But like ultimately you're going to catch a lot of people that didn't know about you.
For sure. And even the people that don't have the best experience, it's also like a lesson you just learn. As a business owner, you don't only learn. I think you only learn with your, let me say, mistakes. That are the lessons. So you don't need to watch for the perfect match that all your clients are similar to you or match your way you want to create your community. You just need to grow. Depending on, it doesn't depend if they are fitting your biography. You just put all the potential clients together.
What other mistakes have you made?
So the third one, I would say, in the beginning with my journey, I was like, there are a lot of hypes, spinning, group training. I was like, oh, nice. And I had a little bit of feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out. So sometimes I just started to put a new kind of group class to manage and also go with the hype. And at the end, I was like, it's not something that fits me. It doesn't fit my philosophy of how to support others. So then you just invest in equipments and in teachers, but at the end you don't really put in the work to really maintain it. So I would say just hold on your own identity. You need to be open for feedback, but don't jump in every new thing because like it doesn't make sense, I would say. Financially, but also according to time, you just lose a lot of time by just being everywhere. Because if you're everywhere, you're in the meantime nowhere.
Yeah, I think that's a famous saying: if you try and be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like the mistake you made in the past is like, oh, we should do spinning, or we should do this type of class because this is the new trend.
Yes.
But it takes you away from your core beliefs of what you.
Exactly, and if you need to have focus, and you cannot focus on everything, so you just stick in the things you like, believe in your power, and just push forward. And from there, I would say that's the best thing, the best advice I can give gym owners.
One thing I forgot to say at the start is I was at your facility in the summer. We've got video footage which we'll lay over this now. Can you just talk everyone through the facility? So as I walk in the door, like, there's a staircase. Where does that go?
So yes, when you come inside, on the left side, we have like a bar for food and drinks. And then on the front, you have like a wall of fame, I would say. So we have pictures of our colleagues. We respect them as well, and we just want to put them on the front. So people that come inside directly have a feeling about who's here and what are the backgrounds. And then downstairs, the first floor, we have like a gym with some functional equipments, devices, and everything around. A skill on the right side with a computer where you can work with and do some measurements. Then we have a stairs on the right side. If you walk up, like because we have a medical background, we also have a lift, and a stairs and a lift for people that are ill or fragile. And when you go upstairs, you see the health, the beauty section, where we have a skin therapy and also a beautician, where they are working together for the beauty of people. And then on the left side we have like a boxing area with a boxing ring, boxing bag, speedball, and everything around. There's also where we give training, group training, but also one-on-one for especially Parkinson patients in a quiet environment. Then if you walk a little bit further, on the right side you see the physical therapy room, with a treatment couch and all the stuff. And then at the end of the area we have like two bathrooms, women, men, where you can also take a shower and dress up.
Let's just go through each component there. So the shop at the front, how much retail product, how much coffees, teas, juices do you sell?
I would say tea and coffee is something that we provide. So
complimentary?
Yeah,
okay.
complimentary, so you don't charge for it. We sell smoothies. We have a partnership with Orange Fit. It's like a company in the Netherlands that are selling like fair trade and also organic protein bars. So I would say we sell around 10% of total of our clients that are using the product, and we do the digital with a like a card that you can buy for like 10 customers.
And how many clients stick around after a session or a treatment for tea, coffee?
I would say after a session, I would say like 3 clients, maybe 4 that are sticking and just having a conversation for coffee and tea.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, would you have that component in the facility or not?
Depends what you want, actually. I think it can help. It makes it more like for a community. But on the other hand, there are a lot of clients that just want to do their workouts, talk, and then go. So I don't really. For me, I think I'm content with the way I did it in the beginning, not and now facilitating, because you need to have time to manage how much quantity of stuff do you have. Is everything still available or out of stock? So it's gonna give you a little bit of more work, but yes, if you have time for it, it can be very valuable for sure.
Because a lot of gym owners like, I want a coffee shop, I want a coffee machine. Maybe I can't staff it. I don't know what option to have. You mentioned beauty, so do you sublease rooms?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So it's an additional revenue stream into the business.
Exactly.
Yep. And then the boxing component is more for large group classes. Is it?
Large group classes, also some one-on-one. Yeah.
Yep, for boxing.
Yeah, for the experiences.
Yep.
Yeah.
How big a square foot is the facility combined, downstairs and upstairs? Do you know?
200 upstairs, 200 downstairs.
200, like 2,000 downstairs, 2,000 upstairs.
Yeah, I would say
square foot.
Square foot.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. Cool. There's one more question I want to ask about the entrepreneurship.
Let's go.
Many gym owners, they put the cap on of I'm a gym owner, and then they grow their business. They do really, really well, but then they stay as that gym owner, and that's absolutely fine. But then they have aspirations to do other things in their entrepreneurial career. And that's what you've done as well with the software company
the SaaS product,
that you've created. So can you just go into some detail of why you decided to do that, how you got investment, how, like, because you built the business, the gym, the rehab up, and you could easily just sit back and let that go and do your thing behind the scenes. But you decided to open another door to another world, to offer a solution and create a product and service to people. So can you just talk about like the entrepreneurial spirit and why you decided to go down that route?
So I need to go back to the beginning. As I told you, I was doing my bachelor and I ended when I was 23, 24. So at that period, I was doing thesis about e-health in general, like e-health in the healthcare, but e-health also in the fitness. And I saw the needs, but I saw things that needed to be improved. So with the research that I did, I decided to write a protocol that can be implemented for the physical therapy and also for the paramedical specialist. And at that moment, it was just to complete my schoolwork and then move back. But at the end, I get some outreach from a development company from the UK especially, and they were like, we can build this application for you, and we really believe in it. So at that moment, I wasn't really willing to put my full time of effort on the product because I was still operational. And then I decided to just have a talk, interview, and look what we can do. And from that, everything changed. And I started to implementing it, the business grown pretty fast. And from there, I had a call of a client that believed in the product as well, and he wanted to invest in it, but also participate. So on both sides, 2 doors are open. So you get some funds, but also participation of somebody with a large network. And it just grew like organically, and we did some ads as well. And now we are especially active in Spain, Dubai, and in Australia with the Rehab Lab.
Nice. And can you just talk through that process of getting investment and launching that product?
Yeah, so by searching for investment, it was pretty hard though. I'm not gonna lie. We was trying to opening a lot of doors, but a lot of doors were closed. Just you start with the proposal and you try to connect with people, but a lot of people are conservative, especially in the healthcare. So before they give accomplishment from their end, it's gonna take a decade. So we spoke with a lot of people, but at the end, not a lot of them were willing to invest because you are a startup, and at that moment, it's not directly proof that it's going to work. And there was one professor from my school that told me like he has a neighbor that does a lot of investments and also is more focusing on e-health, and they brought us in touch with each other, and personalities matched fantastic, and it was very good. And we were like, and in 1 or 2 meetings, we were already like, okay, we're gonna work together. And from that moment, it was a period of like 12 months that I was really actively searching and got a lot of rejection. But at the end, if you just keep on pushing, it will open your doors.
How did you deal with maybe that rejection or like people saying no?
I always ask. So, for example, if you have a conversation and we have a potential cooperation and you decide to don't work with us or you reject the offer, I always ask like, Ben, for example, can you give me advice or you have any form of feedback that I can use to maybe improve the next pitch? And I listen, I make notes, and I just keep it friendly. And by that, you always keep on improving yourself. And I believe that's the way that I believe that's the thing you really need to do as an entrepreneur, regardless what you're doing, to keep on improving. And I would say that that's really helped me to find the correct match.
What's the future for the business and for you personally in your entrepreneurial career?
So for FlexTest treatment, I would say I would like to grow still around, let me say, 100 extra clients in a period of 2.5 years. And potentially maybe open an audit gym in a small village nearby. And then we are full focusing on the SaaS product, Rehab Lab. That's for me something I really like. It's like my little child that we're working on. And it gives me a lot of freedom as well because I can work from everywhere. It's digital. It gives me more flexibility, and that's something I really approach, but also I can really appreciate comparing to the physical activities.
What I know to be true is a lot of business owners that have had success, a lot of entrepreneurs that have gone on to create something of significance, there's been a driving factor behind them, maybe from childhood, that made them make a decision to take a route that's completely different to the majority of people. What was it for you? What was the deciding factor? What did you potentially go through? What were some of the lessons that you learned growing up that made you decide to become the person that you are today?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. It's a pretty sad answer, I would say, but I had a really tough youth. My father was bipolar, and he abused us, like physically and mentally as well. So because of the tough period that I had from a young age, let me say from age of 5 till 11, had a lot of anxious and I was very scared at my home. So because of that, had a lot of interaction with my school at that moment. When I went to high school, I was in a very elite environment, I would say. So my schoolmates were more children from doctors, lawyers, and my home house wasn't that stable, I would say. And because of that, my school teacher at that moment was like analyzing my situation and my behavior, and I was very, very introverted compared to how I'm right now. And because of the way I act, they were like, okay, they don't really trust the situation, and they did some investigation with the government. And in 24 hours, I just came in a roller coaster of a government house, and I went to other school. I changed my home, and I went from my trusted place to somewhere I'm not aware of. And because of the situation, I really needed to grow up by force, and that was my drive to just make something out of my life, because it wasn't easy and it came from a failure. And I always say, without failing, you cannot win. And until today, it's still a very big drive for me to just keep on pushing. And even though it's going good or less, I always see the positivity in the most negative situation.
That's mad story. So did you go into care?
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, and your mum?
My mom, my biological mother, lives in Italy, so I'm not really raised up with a mother in that case. So my father was trying to be a father and a mother, but I would say in both cases didn't succeed.
Yeah.
So yes, I had a stepmother, but she didn't really accepted me and my older brother because we weren't blood, and that was something she literally told me when I was 8, and that is pretty hard to hear when you're that young.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
And to what you've created now with multiple businesses, the money that you're making, and obviously the lifestyle, like, what did you ever have that vision in your head?
Later on, yes, but at that moment, the darkest time, the darkest moment, I was like surviving. I'm not gonna lie about that, Ben. It was just surviving and trying to find an escape I was trying to escape the reality. Like, sometimes I went to friends' houses and I saw how they get love from their parents. I was like, wow, this exists. I didn't even knew that parents can be like that, because my home was so unstable that I thought that the whole world is like that. And then you come in a period that you think that everyone hates you in a certain way, because like your father, your stepmother didn't give you the love that you needed at a young age. But yeah, because I was always busy with sports, I played professional football at a young age, and I was always busy with trying to improve myself. School was something that was also going pretty good. That was, I think, the most stable factor of me to stay in the right path, instead of being miserable and doing the wrong things.
Business owners are always putting out fires. We're always dealing with problems in the business and maybe personal. Why is it important to consistently work on your mindset? You talked about it. You said in Dubai you had some personal development time. Yeah. Obviously, like the trauma of what you went through, you've had to process that, and you've then used it. You've then I'll do that bit against it. The trauma of what you went through, you've processed it, and then you've used it as a motivating factor to push on and create something of significance. So the question is, why is it so important that business owners do take some time for themselves and do work on themselves and their own personal development?
I believe that you can only reflect if you go back from your trusted period, from your trusted environment, because you can't see something where you're blind on. And what I'm trying to say here, if you are doing something regularly, it's going to be in your system. So it's like coping. You just try to convince yourself that there's nothing happening, but at the moment you drag yourself in a different situation, in different environment, especially different frequency, that's the moment you really realize things. What's going good? What can be improved? And where do I want to go? And the only way to do that is just to change your environment. I would recommend literally everyone, regardless if you're a business owner or if you're not, to just improve yourself by changing environment and explore who are you as an individual.
Like, get out of the comfort of routine.
For sure. Yeah, break the routine.
Speak to new people.
Exactly.
Like the business networking, like going to Dubai.
Exactly. It can be everywhere. Yeah. It can be also like a city, an other city. Go with friends or people you don't know. You just bring yourself out of the comfort zone. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think we sometimes get stuck in that box.
For sure.
Like a pet hamster that doesn't like go anywhere because we're constrained by these four walls.
Yeah.
And we don't get opinions from outside. We don't think outside of that box of what's possible, and you can create a change can happen in a short space of time, and you can create something of significance very quickly.
For sure.
But you've got to execute, and you've got to believe and have that vision and go all in.
Yeah, and you know, if you are less risk, if you are risk conservative, what also fine. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you directly need to go all in, but just put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. That's the only way to grow. Otherwise, I always say, comfort leads to failure. And if you're aware about that, you drag yourself to do different things.
Comfort leads to failure. If
Yeah.
you're aware of that, you're dragged to do
Different things. Yes.
I think that's a good stopping point for this
would say.
this podcast. I'm sure there's going to be gym owners that want to find out more about you, reach out to you. What's the website of the facility?
So for our clinic and our gym, it's flex-treatment.nl. And for our SaaS product, it's rehablab.nl.
And for you personally, what's your Instagram handle?
So my name is Endy.Igbinosa. My last name is pretty difficult. I can spell it for you. It's going to be Igbinosa. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and on Facebook. Just feel free to reach out for any kind of question.
We'll link to your businesses and to you personally in the descriptions of these podcasts. So thank you for flying in for the day from the Netherlands. It's been awesome to chat, find out more about your story, what drives you and the success that you've had. Thank you for being an awesome FMA client as well. And I look forward to continuing to support you and see your journey in the years ahead.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Andy.
Yes.
Thank you.